York jury has convicted the Trump Organization of 17 counts of criminal tax fraud and other financial crimes. Prosecutors say for 15 years, executives of the family business leaned on the company to evade income taxes on rent, private school tuition, and luxury cars. And it comes as several other investigations put mounting pressure on the former president. Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl has the latest.
For Donald Trump, the Trump Organization is more than just a business. It's central to his identity in real estate and in politics. A Manhattan jury deliberated for roughly 10 hours before finding the company guilty on all 17 counts, guilty of falsifying business records and much more as part of a scheme to avoid paying taxes.
This was a case about lying and cheating, false documents, to the end of evading taxes for the benefit of individuals and the corporations.
The prosecution's star witnesses were some of Trump's longest-serving and most loyal aides, chief among them the company's longtime CFO, Allen Weisselberg, who pleaded guilty in August to keeping much of his compensation off the books. The company paying for his apartment, his Mercedes-Benz, even his grandchildren's tuition, paying income taxes on none of it. Weisselberg never implicated Trump directly, and the former president has not been charged. But the prosecutors repeatedly invoked Trump's name, saying he explicitly sanctioned tax fraud, showing the jury documents he signed, like this check for Weisselberg's grandchildren's tuition. Trump's lawyers said the real culprit was Weisselberg, and they wasted no time saying they would appeal.
We'll certainly be appealing, of course.
The guilty verdicts carry a maximum penalty of $1.7 million. But potentially more damaging is the impact being guilty of multiple felonies will have on the company's ability to do business going forward.
And Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl joins me live now, along with senior investigative reporter Aaron Katursky. Good morning to you both. John, the Trump Organization has been convicted on all of the counts of tax fraud that it faced here. So how significant is this, and what kind of an impact could it have on the family business?
Well, you know, the fine may, in fact, be the least of it. As you saw, it's a little less than $1.7 million. Given the size of the company, that's not a huge blow. The bigger question is, given the reputational blow to the company is now being convicted of multiple felonies, being convicted of fraud, could close doors to it in future dealings. There are, you know, banks being reluctant to loan money to a company that is convicted of fraud. So a whole series of questions about how the Trump Organization will do business going forward. This certainly complicates things for them.
And Aaron, what were the key pieces of evidence in this case?
Really, the conduct of Allen Weisselberg and the other executives. Picture this, Diane. You're on Fifth Avenue in Trump Tower, 26th floor. In comes Donald Trump Jr. into his father's office with a stack of checks for him to sign so his kids can go to private school. And Allen Weisselberg is sitting right there. And Trump is grousing about having to pay all this money. He looks at Weisselberg and says, might as well pay for your grandkids, too. And that begins the start of Weisselberg getting his grandkids' school tuition paid. And you saw in John's piece that the jury saw the checks that Trump signed for that tuition. So the prosecutor suggested that Trump knew, was not blissfully ignorant of this scheme, but the jury really found that it was the conduct of the executives that made the company liable, even though the defense did their best to try to suggest that there was never an intent to benefit the company with this scheme.
Now, John, now that his company has been found guilty of these charges, what are the personal implications for former President Trump here?
Well, the thing with all of this is that this is just the beginning for Donald Trump in terms of his legal challenges ahead. The New York Attorney General has a $250 million lawsuit against the Trump Organization on related issues. The New York District Attorney is also looking into potential criminal charges, and of course, he faces criminal charges in Georgia related to the efforts to overturn the election there. And perhaps the most the biggest thing looming ahead for Donald Trump in terms of potential legal liability are those dueling federal investigations, criminal investigations by the Department of Justice. On one hand, the January 6th investigation, and of course the investigation that led to the execution of the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, alleging that Donald Trump inappropriately, illegally took government documents with him when he left the White House.
And I know you are both watching all of those investigations very closely for us. John Karl, Aaron Katersky, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.